Okay, am I live? Let's see. Ooh. I can't tell if I'm live or not. Is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth result buffering. Hi! Hey guys! Can you guys let me know if the video quality is not good? Because if it's not, I'm gonna switch back to my 4G. Hey guys! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Hi CK007DC. Hi Sapphire, Amia, Mesh, Mohammed, Khadija. Khadija? Okay, so I think because it's raining, the quality is maybe not that great. So I'm just gonna really quickly switch to my 4G, okay guys? Don't stress if I disappear for a second, I will be back. Okay, I think this is way better, but let me know if I'm wrong. Hi Nikki. Hi Aisha. Hi Rox. Okay guys, so I'm basically gonna get started with talking about creative writing. Thanks so much for joining me here today. It is so bloody sad of a day, but we're here together, so we're gonna have some fun. I had some students send through some questions to me on my Lisa's Study Guides mailing list, so I'm going to answer those questions first because they sent them through to me ahead of time. Now, if you are not subscribed to my newsletter / mailing list, then make sure you go ahead and do so. It's just in the description box below. Every single week I will send out new advice that I don't really give out anywhere else. So it's also where I kind of share more about personal stuff. So if you don't know, I actually came back from Vietnam and Cambodia over the past couple of weeks. So I kind of talk a little bit about my experience there as well. Hi Nikki, yes I have read Kate Granville's The Lieutenant, even though I always accidentally say lieutenant. So the first question I'm going to start off with is one from Katrina. Katrina asks, how can you come up with good creative ideas quickly within a time limit? So unless you are a creative superstar, which I know that quite a few of us are, and I would hardly say I am a creative superstar. In fact, I just want to throw this disclaimer out there. Creative writing is probably one of my more weaker points because it's just not something that I've really dabbled in too much. So the tips that I give today are kind of like tips from somebody who is not naturally gifted at creative writing. So if you're someone like me, then hopefully these tips will be helpful for you. But honestly, I think the key to coming up with good creative ideas within a time limit is actually coming up with them beforehand, actually going ahead and planning and brainstorming the ideas so that you have a few good ideas in your head before you actually go into an assessment. And the reason why I say that is because, you can't just flick on this creative switch, especially if it's within a set period of time. It's like if you have your assignment at 9 a.m. in the morning, it's like, okay, creativity, let loose and let's go. But that's kind of not how it really happens. And I think for many truly creative people who are able to tap into that and, they really enjoy creative writing, I think even for them, they can get writer's block too, which you hear a lot about with authors. So that's kind of my solution, which is more of a roundabout solution. Hi, Maze. Yes, I have done 12 Angry Men as well. I have read quite a few books on the Australian syllabus. I've been doing this for such a long time. So the other part to Katrina's question is writing a conclusion that sums up a short story well, or how do I do that, and provides closure, satisfaction is really difficult for me. Do you have any tips? So I would actually say that, ironically, the best way to provide closure and satisfaction is to leave your audience hanging. So try not to sum up your piece too nicely. And I think this is really important, especially with short creative pieces that you will be writing, because you're not writing a novel, so you don't have the time to kind of set it up and then wind it back down. You kind of only really have the time to set it up. So with that in mind, I think the best tactical way to go about it is to kind of leave some parts of your story open. And so you can kind of think about the themes, the ideas, or the messages. What do you want your reader to think about? And that's kind of where you want to leave them thinking about them, and that in a way provides a sense of satisfaction because they can kind of go off and have that book hangover, which is essentially where you keep thinking about a book even after it's finished. Don't forget that you have your written explanation, or some people call it the statement of intention, which can help you. So if you feel like you have left it way too vague as a conclusion, or you don't feel like you've summed it up too nicely, you can, in your written explanation, explain why you've gone ahead and made those authorial choices. Why have you decided to leave the readers thinking? So if we have time during this live stream, I'm actually going to read to you guys a creative piece that I wrote when I was younger, and you'll see how I left the reader hanging. Oh, thank you so much, Monique. You're so sweet. Thank you, Nancy. You guys have such nice things to say to me. Krish, how long will you live stream for? That's a great question. Today, I don't really know because it's raining, so I am not going out. I don't have any plans after this. So it really just depends on how many questions you guys have and how much we want to get through. So make sure you ask those questions, guys, because if you don't ask no questions, I'm a head off. I'm just kidding, guys. I've got some stuff here that I want to talk to you guys about. So please ask your questions away. Okay, I have another question from Andrea. So Andrea says, hi, my name is Andrea. I'm a Year 11 VC English student. Hi, Andrea. I feel like Year 11 is the sweet spot. It's like you kind of start, becoming independent and you start doing the subjects you like, but it's not Year 12 where it can be like super stressful and everything you do counts. Sorry, those in Year 12 where everything counts. She asks, the school is doing Growing Up Asian in Australia, and for the SACs we have to alter these short stories in our own creative way. So, for example, from a different person's perspective, adding our own twist to the story, etc. I'm really not that great at creative writing as I struggle to come up with ideas. Any tips? So, Andrea, I would say that try to make things as easy as possible for yourself. So think about, okay, one, what short story have you enjoyed the most? And for me, it's been quite a while since I read Growing Up Asian in Australia. I think I actually did it in year 11 as well, and I've got it somewhere behind me. But for me, there are certain stories that resonated with me more than other stories. So, okay, here we are. This is the book, right? So I know that in this particular book, I think I really resonated with which one was it? Diana Nguyen, which was 5 Ways to Disappoint Your Vietnamese Mother. And if you guys have been following me in the community channel on YouTube and also in my mailing list, then you know that I've actually just come back from Vietnam, and I had this journey with my own kind of self-discovery with my personal heritage and the cultural identity that I feel like I identify with. So that was really interesting, because if you guys don't know, yes, my surname is Tran, but I'm actually not Vietnamese. Interesting, yeah? How could that be? This is when like people start messaging, you have to be Vietnamese because your last name is Tran. So, and Francis Lee, The Upside Down Year, and Ivy saying Chinese lessons were ones that I really personally enjoyed. So I feel like if you personally really enjoy something, you will be more naturally curious about it, and you will want to find out more about a certain aspect of that piece. Now, that aspect of the piece that you want to find out more about, I think that's the part that you should go for and create a creative story that revolves around that. Because if you are already interested in it, those questions that you're asking are instinctive questions that come out of you, and they're naturally born rather than you forcing it. And so that's like a really good way to go ahead and try to find ideas. One more thing I'd say is just make sure you focus on one specific part. So like, don't try to come up with lots of different ideas. Focus on one main idea and elaborate and develop on that, because that will always make a much more powerful creative piece than just trying to do everything all at the one time. Cool. So, oh man, I wish I filled up my water. I don't have any water left. Okay, so that's actually all the questions I had from my mailing list. So that means that you guys need to send me through more questions. Let's see what you guys are asking me here on the live stream. So Nancy asks, can you give us a really quick rundown of creative writing VCE level? So in VCE, you are expected to do one creative writing sack. Now, in that creative writing sack, because, there was some lightning that I just experienced, okay? Whoa! Oh my goodness. Do you guys hear that? That was, okay, that freaked me out. I'm gonna just try to stay calm and just live stream with you guys. So, as I was saying, because creative writing is not in your exam, and because it's pretty much dictated by your school, it's really hard to say exactly what your school wants of you. Some schools want you to write on a specific, character. Some schools will give you prompts to write on. Some schools will tell you, here are the scenarios, you pick from one of them. And then other schools just say, you just do what you want, girlfriend. So it's hard to say, though what you can do is head to the VCA official website. And then if you have a look at the syllabus, you can actually find out some details about, what's expected of you. But essentially, creative writing is to be paired with a written explanation. I'm just going to see if I've got it downloaded on my computer, because if I do, then I'm able to read it out for you guys. I personally don't have the information off the top of my head. So, oh, here we go. Area Study 3, Unit 2. I'm just going to go for like Unit 3, yeah, which is Year 12, because it's going to be applicable to all of you eventually anyway. Oh. You know what? I don't think I have it downloaded on my computer. So I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna just say head to the Vika website and have a look there. The written explanation is definitely worth a lot less than the actual creative writing itself. It's kind of like 5% of your entire mark. And I just think personally, creative writing is a good chance for you to practice your writing skills, think about ideas and themes. And yeah, that's really about it. Mesh says, "Are you okay, Lisa? Love heart. I am okay, thank you. I enjoy this weather if I am inside and if I'm warm. I'm somebody who gets cold really quickly, so usually I really do not like winter. I love summer and I just love heat. I would much rather be outside and dying like in my own sweat and like feeling very hot than feeling very cold and being rained on and feeling like the only way to get myself warm is to have a really, really hot shower." So Tamara's like, "I heard the thunder in real life and then I heard it in your live stream." Okay, so let's see. Oh, Andrea says thank you. No problems. Okay, so Nancy has another question, and that's like, she's in Year 9 and she's wondering if I can give her an idea on what VC is like. I want this particular live stream to be focused on creative writing, but if you wanted to know what VC is like, I can definitely do a live stream on that later on. Maybe one that's kind of general VC life. If you guys want something like that, then please, say it, write it down for me so that I know. I'll make sure like focus a live stream just based on what VC is like. But I have some videos I've created in the past. There's one called Everything You Need to Know About VCE, and from there you will see like a bunch of other videos I've done too. So I highly recommend you go ahead and watch that. Okay. So CK007DC says, is that Andrea again? No, that's different. That's someone different. Okay, I haven't done any creative writing in ages. How would you recommend preparing for creative writing? Brackets, I don't know what the sack is going to look like, ATM, but it will revolve around the movie Rear Window. So if you're somebody who hasn't done creative writing in ages, and don't worry, like none of us write creative writing until our teachers tell us to. True? Yeah, I know it's true. Unless you're the creative superstar, which I've mentioned in the past. Now, these people will write their own like creative journals and, do creative writing in their own time. But for the rest of us, we pretty much only do it when our teachers tell us to do it. So, I think something that people kind of forget about with creative writing is the fundamentals still exist. So in English, what we care about are themes and ideas and your exploration of those ideas. So if you're going to write a creative piece, don't forget everything that you've learned when writing essays and when learning about books and, analyzing them, exploring them, because the core of a creative writing task is seeing how well you actually understand the ideas and how well you are now articulating those same ideas across to your teacher. So I think a really key point is make sure that you are really familiar with these ideas and themes and issues that are being explored in the text, because it will give you a really good foundation to begin with for your creative writing itself. Is there a structure that I should follow for creative writing? Mesh asks. So I would say creative writing is super flexible. So you go ahead and you do you, okay? You can kind of figure out a way that works for you best. But if you kind of wanted to know about a structure, there's something that follows along the lines of, now everyone does this a little bit differently, but basically you start off with telling the story itself. And then, should I just look this up? Conflict resolution. I don't want to tell you guys the wrong thing. Creative writing. Okay, so sorry if the internet if I start lagging just slightly, but from my understanding, there is conflict. Sorry, is it? Conflict, crisis, resolution, and then there's like a few kind of add-ons to that, or whatever. So please don't like hang me, on a hook because of this. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so I'm putting that disclaimer out there. But basically, you start off your piece thinking about, okay, so what's the conflict that I want to deal with? What am I going to set up as the problem of my piece? And then you have your crisis, which is like when it reaches its peak. And then I guess you call it the climax as well. And then finally the resolution, when it becomes solved, basically. So that's kind of like a way that you can think about your creative piece to make sure that at least you have some sort of story. Personally, for me, when I've written pieces, I kind of do the conflict side of things and I do the climax, but I don't really do a resolution. Like, my resolution's always kind of left hanging. And that's what I was saying before about how I personally like texts that are left hanging. So yeah. Yes, guys, I'm going to post this on my channel. Okay. No problem, Smash. Happy to answer your questions. Okay, so I'm going to actually read to you guys a creative piece that I wrote when I was in year 12, okay? So this is just a creative piece. I wish I had loaded it before. It's so disorganized. I will go ahead and find it. So basically, when I wrote this piece, it wasn't based on any particular text. It was just kind of like a creative piece where I needed to talk about a certain conflict and then take it from there. But I want you guys to know that this creative piece that I wrote did not take me just like, an hour and then it was perfect from the beginning. It actually involved quite a few iterations with my teacher. So meaning that it took like multiple times basically for me to go back to my teacher and say, hey, what do you think of this? And then my teacher going, you could improve on this, and then constantly fixing it for me to get up to this point. It's a short piece, so I should be able to read it to you, within a few minutes. But yeah. I'd like to show you guys, because if I can show you guys, then I think it would be a really good way for you guys to be able to kind of understand more of what I'm saying. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to read it to you. It's literally only, how many words is it? It's like 300 words, something like that. Okay. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready to see my creative piece? Okay, here we go. So maybe close your eyes, listen to it, or just kind of leave everything and kind of just listen. Just listen to what I'm saying and have a think about how it makes you feel, what it makes you think, what it makes you ask, because these type of questions are what you guys want for your own peace, okay? So it starts off with, all I see is darkness, cold black darkness. I hear my breathing heavy and rapid. Sometimes I hear muttering, but most of the time, silence encloses my surroundings. Sitting here, my hands tremble uncontrollably. I can feel the sweat breaking out over my palms, upon my fingers. Emotions overwhelm me. My face is wet and sticky from tears. I can taste the saltiness while I ineffectively sniff to try and prevent my runny nose. My head throbs in confusion. I pull my knees closer to my chest. Frustration rages through my body. Despair, dread, and desperation washes all over. I feel lost. I'm afraid. The scenario is played in my head over and over again. It rewinds itself and plays. And plays. It plays all the different possibilities, how they will react, how I will tell them, where I will tell them. Then it stops. It rewinds. It starts playing again and again. I gasp as a nauseating feeling washes over me. I feel the rush from my stomach through my burning throat. My body repulses against the taste at the back of my tongue. I heave as I feel it surging back down. I shut my eyes tightly. I can feel the goosebumps running up and down my back. How am I going to do this? How am I going to change my parents, my sister's world, when I reveal the most painful inner secret I've held on to for nearly 2 years? It's been so long, yet what happened that night is clearer to me than anything else. That picture of his face, ugly and vicious, panting, sweating, moaning. I shudder. Just like every other time I've seen the image of his face. No matter how hard I try, I can't leave it in the past. It's always haunting me. He is there everywhere I go, every corner I turn, every door I open. I can't keep this hidden any longer. I need them to know. I have to let them know. I try to forget my fear. I try to forget my weakness. How can pain cause so much suffering when it's invisible? I know I have to be strong, not only for myself, but for my family. I've hidden this way too well. I hesitate. The doubts filter through again. I take a deep, long breath. The time is now. Do it. I reach out and I switch on the light. And that's it. Okay. So, wow, I can't believe I shared that with you guys. I never thought I'd share anything with, anyone with my piece. So, I don't know if you guys like that piece or not, but there are some tips that I would give you to take away from that. And so, obviously looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's still things I could still improve, but I think I got full marks for this piece. So, it was pretty good for the time when I wrote it. I think the key thing here is I never really specifically stated what happened to this girl. So it leaves it up for interpretation, and it leaves it up to you to kind of create that picture for yourself and think about, oh my gosh, what happened to her? And I leave the piece hanging. So when I say she switches on the light, we actually don't know what's going to happen next. Like, is she switching on the light to tell her parents, or what exactly is it? It's not given to you. So it kind of leaves you thinking about it, and it lingers in your mind. And that's what I wanted. I also focused on a very specific point in time where, this is probably just 1 minute of her life where she's just thinking about these thoughts from the start to finish, just this one key point. But I wanted to grow that and make it into something huge so that we could really see her thoughts and see her feelings. You also see that I was very descriptive. So I said a lot about her emotions, like what she was feeling. I feel lost. I feel afraid. I use a lot of sensory things as well. So I hear my breathing heavy and rapid. I could taste the saltiness of my tears. My face is wet and sticky. My head throbs, like it hurts. Things just hurt. And so I really wanted to convey this sensory experience that she was having through all the different senses, you know, taste, touch, smell, feel. What's the other one? I'm not even gonna try. So yeah, like that's just something just for you guys to think about. And you know, don't be afraid to deal with adult issues, you know? Like this girl here probably was harassed, and so it I guess what I showed my teacher was that I was a student that could deal with these kind of more sensitive issues and issues that showed that I was quite mature and I thought about these in detail. So yeah. Would you recommend writing in first person? I think, Tamara, that's just a question really for yourself. You know, it depends on the book you're writing on. Is it written in first person already, or is it written in third person? And is there something valuable you could offer by writing in first person? Thanks, guys. Okay. So, I actually think that I've answered most of your questions, actually. Okay. Tips for oral presentations. Go ahead and watch my oral presentation videos. As you guys know, I try to focus on one topic only every time I do a live stream. Can you post some example on your site? Yeah, so I've got some link for you guys in the description box going to my blogs, I think. So if you wanted to find out more about creative writing, like how to achieve A+ and how to do your written explanation, then go ahead and write those. Okay, guys, I actually think we're going to sum it up there, leave it there for the day. Key pointers I want you guys to take away from this live stream is please join my mailing list because that's where you get the most benefit out of everything. And for next month, I'm going to start focusing on language analysis, or analyzing arguments. So I'm really excited about that. That's like my favorite part of VC English. So personally, I'm going to get really excited about it. So my next live stream, that's a really good question. Just stay in tune with what's happening. I don't think I've set a particular date yet. But if you are in touch with me via any of my channels, YouTube, mailing list, then you'll be sure to stick with it and be there when I am there. So I hope you guys kind of enjoy the rest of this day. It is very dreary, but you know, this is the time for you to hang indoors and do homework. Just kidding. I mean, please try to take a break over the weekend. I personally will be working this weekend. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I'm working on something really big for Lisa's study guides this year. And so, yeah, it's been amazing the amount of people who have signed up for tutoring with us because we are now almost fully booked out, which is absolutely ridiculous. This has never happened before, especially so early on in the year. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys. If you are a supporter of me and my team at Lisa's Study Guides, it means so much to us. And also, as a side note, I don't know if you guys know, but I have been selected as the A Victorian finalist for the Victorian Young Achievers Award 2018 for the business category. So yeah, I'm so excited for that. I will tell you guys more about it because you guys can actually participate and try voting for me. So I would like really appreciate that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of the day, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Okay? Bye guys. Have a good